Hi, welcome to Scrap Kitchen. This is my attempt at a podcast, or not really a podcast, but voice notes. I have been sending voice notes to one of my friends as we live in separate countries, and I thought it would be a good way of charting how we go from, how we, my partner and I, go from having no land to maybe having land to maybe starting a farm. And maybe I should take those maybes out and make it a little bit more clear. Hi, I'm Magda. I wrote the Scrap Kitchen newsletter for about a year when I first started farming, and then towards the end of the season I got kind of exhausted because farming is really hard. It's now 2.5 years later, and I am going to go for something that's going to be a little easier, hopefully a little easier to maintain, and that is this voice note / podcast thing. So join me as I try to get a farm with my beloved. This episode is called The Lay of the Land, and I have a lot of notes here about what I want to talk over, and somewhat of a time limit, which I hope I will stick to. Basically, we're starting at the beginning. This is the start of February. I'm here in Michigan on unceded Anishinaabeg Land. I, with my partner, manage a farm for someone. It is a certified organic farm. It does UPIC, it has a CSA. We sell at our farm stand. We might start selling at markets, and we grow a lot of vegetables. This will be my 4th year farming since I quit my job mid-pandemic to move to a different continent and learn how to save seeds and farm. I did that because I got pretty disenfranchised with working in a startup, and mid-Panny D, everyone sort of freaked out and resigned, and I realised what I wanted to do was work the land, feed people, and grow climate-resistant crops. And I wanted to do it in a way that aligned with actually caring for the land. So I had to find someone that did that, and there are places that do that in the UK. That's not why I left, but I am an American citizen, so I thought, I've never lived there, I may as well try. Which leads into us trying to find land now. I met my partner there because he quit his job mid-pandemic to go become a vegetable farmer in Colorado. And now, after 3 years, and it will be 4, farming in the US, we want to go to the UK and actually start our own farm. So we're looking for land. For those of you that don't know or have no idea what the UK farming scene is like, it's really hard to get land. Land is owned in massive parcels by people who've owned it for thousands of years or hundreds of years, just too long, and it's quite hard actually to just get 5 acres. So to get around this, him and I created this sheet that basically has our experience, what we're looking for, the vision for what we're going to do, and we've been sending it out to anyone and everyone we can think of and getting them to send it through their network. So far, a couple of people have gotten back to me, not with land, but with other connections, so we have to chase those up. But right now we have no land and we have no visa, so we're also going to try to get a visa to get my partner to get to the UK so that we can do the farming. So you are joining us, or me. I don't know whether or not to say us or me, he's a part of this, but this is just going to be me chit-chatting. So you're joining us at the beginning. The hopes for this podcast is that, in a similar vein to Ismatu Gwendolyn, that you'll get to see me learn in real time how to do all of the background stuff for farming. And so for people who are interested in starting farming, they'll be like, oh, fuck, this is all the work that goes in. And for people who are already in farming, they'll be like, yeah, I remember when I was at that stage. Sucks. So that's what I am trying to do with this podcast. So learning in real time, showing you what it's like to be a first generation farmer, trying to share knowledge on where people learn how to do this stuff, how we do stuff, why we do stuff. It also, I spent a lot of time over the past few years since turning my life into like a seasonal life, assessing what really matters to me. And I think it comes down to three things, my three pillars, I guess. Those are nourishment, connection, and knowledge. Nourishment is literally feeding people, trying to give people healthy food that's cheap. Connection is trying to build and be a part of vibrant mycelial communities / networks. It's like mutual aid and actually like getting involved and invested with where you live at any point in time, even if you're only there for like a couple months. And then knowledge. At all points, I want to break down the gatekeeping that's around various things. My background is I did a degree in biochemistry, and then through the 4 years of that, I was like, academia is awful, and the only reason why we have access to all these things is because we pay a lot of money every year, like all of these journals or books and stuff, and like it should all just be free and open. People should have access to all this information, and we do have access to a lot of information now, but there is still a lot of stuff that's like gatekept. There's a lot of stuff where like people don't share resources, and that kind of scarcity around like knowledge is really stupid. I think it's a really like short-sighted way of thinking, and I don't want to hide any information that might help some random person trying to get into farming. So that, yeah, that's my idea. That's what knowledge is to me. So yeah, that's the basic overview. Right now it is a sunny day in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The snow has melted mostly. It was very snowy a week ago. We've been out to the farm and interviewed a couple people who'll be working with us and started clearing up the high tunnel. We need to start planting some seeds. We'll be planting lots of alliums this year. That means like onions, garlic, leeks, and we're going to start lots and lots of trays of onions and leeks really early so that we can put them in the ground as soon as possible, as soon as it stops threatening to freeze all the time. That's basically where we're up to. A lot of the farm work right now is doing computer work. So we have there's like 8 spreadsheets that all feed into each other that involve like a crop plan, a harvest plan, a sales plan. Anyone who thinks farming isn't like maths and science is wrong. It is intense. And it's really fun, I think. But that's because I am a Capricorn. But yeah, so mostly we're doing spreadsheets right now. We're going over systems. We're creating documents for like making it much easier. We have a lot of volunteers that come to the farm, and we want them to be able to basically like look at a sheet and know how to do something without like extensive instruction, or if they forget when we give them instructions, they can come back and like look at this sheet that tells them how much a bunch of carrots should weigh and be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're also ordering seeds. It's the most exciting time of the year. It's like Christmas for farmers, when all your boxes full of seeds turn up and you get to think about all the things that they're going to turn into, all the possibilities. I also saved a lot of seeds last year. I saved a lot of tomato, and the year before I saved lots of beans, butterfly blue peas, loofah, a whole lot of loofah. And I'll probably talk more about seed saving later and why it's so important. But yeah, now is a big time to like sit in the gestational darkness of spring and think about what the year might become and put things in place so that we can actually make it into a good year. So that's what we're basically doing at the moment. The other big news on our farm is that we've released our CSA. So people have started buying our CSA for the year. For those who don't know, the CSA is a community supported agriculture. That's what it stands for. And it's a box or a bag of vegetables every week for however long people decide to do it for. And buying a CSA really helps a farmer because it gives them funds at the start of the season when they haven't started selling food directly to consumers, and it means that they can buy seeds or pay their workers for the first couple months, And so if you have a CSA in your local area, I would definitely recommend, if you can afford it, that you join it. There are usually options for people who have, or at least on our farm, we've worked really hard to make sure that there are options for people to get it if they're on food stamps, if they're on like SNAP benefit or anything else, they can still get a CSA. And there are various farms that still do that. So there shouldn't be anything like stopping someone who wants. I mean, there obviously is societally things that stop people, but on solid farms who are trying their best, there is usually no actual barrier to people getting access to the vegetables that they need. So do not be afraid to ask your local farmer if they do that. And if they don't, fuck them. Okay, well that got way more dramatic than I was expecting in my first one. But since these are just voice notes and these are just going to chart how I feel, doesn't really matter. If you don't like my style, that's okay. And if you do like my style, then you can listen and learn in real time along with me. So there is I can't speak. There it is, the lay of the land. Thanks.